Welcome to the Good Luck Have Fun podcast, where we talk about everything gaming and no longer esports, since my buddies don't give two flying shits about anything esports. My name is Katya Francisco, and I'm with my boys Joe and Andy. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Doing well, doing well. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about these topics today. We got some spicy
We have
topics.
some fun shit. What's up, Joe?
These topics we got today, hotter than it is outside in Florida, man. 85 degrees. I walked outside today,
Good
almost
metaphor, yo.
melted.
Good metaphor. I will hop right in it. So a particular game had some pretty interesting news that it hasn't had too much news recently that's hit the mainstream. It's kind of just been on its own. We got Rocket League announcing what is called the Sideswipe game for mobile. That's right off of their website here. Let me bring it up for our peoples. Get right into it. So it's called Announcing Rocket League Sideswipe for mobile. You guys have seen the video announced with the game? So
Yep.
Yeah, I was just watching the gameplay. It's kind of
definitely
crazy.
not what I expected. It gives that what's that game that we used to play that was soccer? Head soccer?
Head soccer,
Gives those
something like
vibes,
that, yeah.
bro. It gives fucking those vibes
Which
heavy.
was a lit game, by the way.
Like, I mean, just look at this shit. Like, honestly, I think this makes a lot more sense than what I was thinking. I was thinking they were dead ass gonna make like a miniature Rocket
Or
League 1v1 in a mobile, and I'm like, how the fuck's that gonna work? Motherfuckers gonna be doing aerials with their touchscreen? That'd have been hard, first of all. So an interesting move. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world, uh, especially given the now publisher, or I guess we can consider them publisher. I don't know if you can be the SO publisher after the game's out, but if it's a game in service, I guess for sure. But the publisher in Epic that has figured out how to monetize mobile games unlike any other and monetize concurrent games and create partnerships like any other. Segue into a little bit of Fortnite partnerships. How familiar are you guys with the partnerships that Epic's been able to create with Fortnite?
I was I was in it for a little while when I played Fortnite. I mean, that's when the big names started to come out, and so pretty familiar. I think Epic has probably the highest tier AAA partnerships that you can get. I mean, Kyle, I'm sure you're about to go over them. Marvel, Star Wars, super big names. But yeah, very familiar.
I love it. I think it's so cool that they were able to do something that's just never really been done before. You've seen limited time, brand integrations, but with Fortnite, it's like $30 for a skin. You keep it forever. Like that marks staying power for Fortnite and the amount of trust that these brands have to even bring their IP into the game because they know that it's going to be a staying thing. It's not going to be going anywhere. That's why people are buying them to begin with.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're looking at some of the biggest names in entertainment, in pop culture. You got Star Wars, like Joe said. You got the NFL that they partner with both Rocket League and Fortnite. And another thing that Rocket League, just to kind of bring it full circle here, while we're kind of leading into this topic here, Rocket League also announced their partnership with their upcoming season 3 uh, battle pass slash just in-game partnerships. You got NASCAR and Formula One. Now, I don't know shit about racing, but I know that these two are rivals. So the fact that they got basically Coke and Pepsi to like sponsor the game at once, like that's lit. Like Epic was like, nah. We know we all don't really fuck with each other. Like I know you got Europe bodied and we got the rednecks in America bodied. We're gonna come together and we're going to meld this. And dude, the video right here, I'm playing it as we're talking here. Dude, it's a fucking sick ass video. Damn man, that's loud as hell. Um, you got Mustangs in that bitch. You got like the F1 cars. Obviously, the structure of how Rocket League works makes it very easy to create partnerships like that, and how Fortnite is operating, like the skins are easy too. But I don't think that's a coincidence that they're under the umbrella of Epic, that they're able to get these partnerships that maybe other brands in gaming aren't. Would you guys fair to say that that's kind of a pretty easy thing to pick up?
Yeah, yeah, and like when I saw the news, that's kind of the first thing that I posed to you guys. I'm like, would this be possible if Epic hadn't acquired Psyonix? And it's kind of cool because you can look at like at a point in time before Epic owned them, and they did do a couple of brand integrations. Like they did that, and I bought some of them myself. Shout out to the Batmobile. But
That's such a tough integration, first of all. Like, there's no other. There's like
Oh,
two
that's
other.
it's so perfect too.
Yeah.
and it was only like 350. Like it wasn't very expensive at all. Yeah,
Uh,
it was not expensive. Like
And
Fortnite
this is
skins,
why they needed
$20.
an Epic to come in. Yeah, they
Yeah,
they just tripled in revenue just because Epic bought them and increased the prices. Swear to God.
yeah, they didn't have to get Epic to buy them. They could have just increased the prices and
Yo, spoiler alert: the Mustang is not going to be 350. I promise you, the GT Mustang is going to be $20 bare minimum. Bare minimum, bro.
it's gonna be level 70 in the battle pass because they want you to be playing the game, right?
Well, I don't think it's coming with the battle pass. I think it's going to be kind of similar to what the F-150 was. That it's going to be a separate purchase. That obviously the battle
Oh,
pass is its own thing because the only reason why I say that, and I could be wrong, the season starting April 7th, and they said coming in May is when the NASCAR and the F1 thing is coming. So I'm
That
assuming
makes sense.
that it's not going to be translucent with the battle pass. Um, the battle pass in Rocket League is definitely pretty awesome. Customizing your vehicle is just the coolest shit ever, too. Like, besides that, like the monetization that they were able to figure out, that I'm surprised it took them that long to figure out, hey, we should go to free to play because people buy shit for your cars. All of it. Like, I would way more, now I don't play Rocket League as much as Call of Duty, but I would way more buy wheels for my car that a gun skin. Like, it just feels like more of an interactive thing that other people can see and all that. But that's far besides the point. Kind of going into esports, and I know you guys are going to shut the ears off now. I was watching the RLCS about a month ago. Come on, Justin. Fuck you. I was watching the RLCS this past couple months, and when the F-150 dropped, man, like they had in-game commercials like built inside the engine of Rocket League based on the Ford F-150. Like it was amazing the things that they do. They don't just bring in these companies and say, "Hey, go buy our shit." Like they have a whole brand imaging that they do. That they understand that this is what brings people in. I know for me, I got on Fortnite when Master Chief dropped. And I know that I looked into because the Rocket League store isn't as accessible as like other stores. Like it's like one of the settings or menus and you don't have to get to it. Like Fortnite, it's right there type shit. I went into the store because I was like, the F-150 is there. Let me see what it's about. I didn't wind up copying it, but the three other guys that I play Rocket League with did because it just looked that cool. Um, so I'm just impressed with how much ahead of the game Epic is with this shit.
Yeah, no, and the one thing that people don't may not realize is how effective these partnerships are in bringing people back. I know, Kyle, you said Master Chief dropped. You were back on Fortnite just to check it out. When the Star Wars shit dropped, bro,
Dog.
I literally I went into the game. I literally must have played 3 or 4 games. Bought the Kylo Ren skin. Like everything was, it was awesome. You had to, and the thing about it is Fortnite's a little different. You can incorporate sort of gameplay mechanics too, because they had like the lightsabers and whatnot. But these partnerships really do grab attention. I mean, if you've ever played a game and you're a fan of something else and they bring it into that game, you're gonna go back and try it out, see what it looks like.
Bro.
It's a no-brainer. It's
yeah, I
so
think
good for both parties.
yeah, and even before they went like the route of monetization and skins, remember when they put Thanos in Fortnite and you had go get the Infinity Gauntlet
Bro,
and you
that was
turned
an
into Thanos,
event, bro. Like a
and it was
fucking
limited
event.
time. Like they put all that work into a limited time event and then it was done and they think they brought it back once. But then like Endgame they had the where you could pick up the different
The
weapons and be
Avengers.
Iron
Yeah.
Man. That shit was so much fun. Like that's just on a different level. That's not done by anybody else.
Dude, just for
No.
the Super Bowl here, Rocket League put in a mode called Gridiron, and you were playing football Rocket League. A whole
Huh.
separate physics. Now, granted, same physics as Rocket League, but like the ball had its own different physics. how you operated the with the ball was completely different. Like you caught the ball on top of your vehicle and could throw it and whatnot. And you had to obviously if you spun left, you spiraled to the left. If you spun right, it's gone now. But me, Dale, and his buddies had way too much fun playing that game. We didn't play anything else but that week of the Super Bowl. Now it's gone. It sucks. But the effort, to Andy's point, that they put into this, they don't just say, "Oh, cool, we got Game Fuel to sponsor one of our cars. Here's a skin." No, bro. They say, "What's going to get people to spend that extra $5 on our game that we're giving them to free?" They're providing the maximum value to this shit. Where I don't want to keep banging on them, but Call of Duty, they bring out a cool new skin, that new dragon skin. Man, that dragon skin doesn't even work in Warzone right now. They brought it out without even working in Warzone. Now, it does now, so not to be inaccurate, but it's been out for 2 weeks, and I wanted to cop it. But the fact that I couldn't use it in Warzone and Black Ops, I was like, nah, fuck it. And now I'm just not going to buy it. They could have got $20 out of me because of how cool it looked and how hyped I was about it. But the amount of detail that Epic puts into this shit is stupid. And it has to be the future, right? They can't just be the only people that are thinking about this shit.
Yeah, you're gonna see it happen more and more. But it's almost, competitive, right? Who can I which publisher can get the best deals with these outside IPs and companies and products? And, eventually maybe 25 years from now, like I said this last week, that it's gonna be like Ready Player One, right? Like you just have this other dimension where everything just kind of conglomerates into one thing.
Fuck.
How? I don't know, but it's a weird to think about for sure.
You also got to think though, the games that Epic is doing this for, Fortnite, Rocket League, not only are they child friendly and anybody can play them, right? So a brand doesn't take a risk by putting it in their game.
Mm.
But they're also these animated games that it's easy to make these cosmetics for. Imagine, you know, Call of Duty, we're going to use them as an example all the time because it's one of the most popular games. Imagine they got a deal with Marvel, huge partnership. Nobody wants to run around Call of Duty looking like Iron Man
No.
when you're supposed to feel like you're in a war zone. You know what I'm saying? So I think Epic's pretty strategic here. I think any game you see from Epic that they're trying to monetize this way is going to be a fun, colorful, animated game that could do that because a lot of games you just can't. And that's what I started realizing as you guys were talking. You couldn't do this in a Call of Duty. It's just there's a
GTA.
certain feel you get. GTA, exactly. It's so it's interesting that, Epic bought what how do you say their name? Psionics
Psionics,
Studio?
Psionic.
yeah. They bought them in
Psionics?
May of 2019, so it's about to be 2 years this year.
Genius. Genius.
That's what I was just about to ask you guys. As literally, Joe just answered the question. Is it so much Epic, the brand, that they're buying into? Like, oh, Epic is amazing at creating partnerships and they're creative. Or is Epic so smart in what titles they decide to make their flagships? Now, obviously, they fell into Fortnite. They had no idea Fortnite was going to be this. But the acquisition of Rocket League was calculated, like all hell. And now that I'm thinking about it, there was no other game they could have bought that would be more perfect for what they want to do than Rocket League. So is it so much the games themselves that create these partnerships that are able, like Andy said, or Joe said, they're kid friendly. They're no risk in it. You're not getting kids shot their heads off. No one's going to come back to Fortnite and Rocket League and say, this is the reason why there's violence in the world, to say it mildly type thing. So is it so much Epic or is it the actual two individual games? Because if Epic were to go buy, let's just not to create another rumor, Bungie, they can't do that same shit in Destiny, right? Like there would be no way to bring in Game of Thrones when it comes back for their second season and partner with them. There's just no way. So and obviously it's like a chicken or the egg thing. Epic bought the games and made the games, so obviously it's them. But Andy, do you think it's more Epic the publisher or Fortnite and Rocket League the games?
I think it's more epic because when you were talking, something occurred to me that these are free to play games.
Okay.
Like, if they weren't free to play, would these brands be so on board? Because you're cutting, the player base is so much larger because these games are free to play and they're more willing to spend money on this extra stuff.
So you're
So
thinking, okay, I'm following you. But are you saying that any other free to play game could do it? So, like, could you think League of Legends could start making partnerships with other things? Or do they even want to? Obviously, League of Legends is more of a competitive game. Granted, Rocket League as well. So I guess that really is not a great equalizer, but League of Legends is completely free to play. Could you see them and Riot making this type of partnerships?
honestly, no, I don't think they
Right.
could. I mean, I know they've done brand deals outside of the game itself. Like I think they partnered with Buffalo Wild Wings
Yeah, they did.
for
Yeah,
some kind of special meal deal you could get during the playoffs or whatever. But yeah, in game, nobody really does it like Epic. And Joe, that point, I think you have it spot on. That these are simple, safe thing like games. Like nothing crazy is going on. Like they're so simple too. Like at the core. Like is Epic the Apple of video games,
dead
right?
ass.
Like simple, elegant, like easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Was it strategic for Epic to get rid of Gears of War? Like, not because the franchise might have ran out, but were they looking at it and saying, we see where gaming's going, and a game like Gears isn't going to bring in the money for us to become a big publisher? Like, we might sell 20 million copies of Gears of War. Doesn't fucking, like, you're not going to become what Epic is because of that. It's insane.
Maybe
Whoa, this is
it's
way more complicated of a topic than what I thought it was going to be.
yeah, right.
Like, that is insane.
Yeah.
No, screw Fortnite. Never gonna play it again. But I might stand Epic. I might put the flag down. It's Epic might be coming for like Ubisoft or some shit, yo. On moms. Holy shit. All right, Joe. Anything else about Rocket League or Fortnite you feeling?
No, sir. Keep those sponsorships coming. That's the only way I'll be in those games. So
I feel like you have fun with Rocket League though at times.
no, Rocket League's fun. I even, there's random days where I'll see something about Fortnite. I'm like, you know what? I could probably get in there and do something. I know that's not the case, and I never actually download it, but I get the itch for both.
Dog, you say that until I played it with Dale the other day, and until a dude's making 90s around you, and you're just like, all right, dog, like I'm good. I'm
Got
just
it.
taking my pickaxe,
Got it.
and he's rebuilding shit. I'm hitting. I'm like, dog, what? Huh.
Oh, what I didn't say is when I get downloaded that, when I got Fortnite again just to buy the Star Wars skin, I went into a game and I had played it so long it thought I was like a new player because I went straight bot lobby, like got
Took a
down, it was
dub
like teaching me how to play, got a victory royale, just say it, like
with
30
the
kills.
Luke skin.
Yep. They didn't shoot at me, but it's all
Fuck,
good.
bro, dude. And there's no cap on what they could do. They've worked with Marvel and Star Wars. There's no
Yeah.
bigger
But what
cultural
is higher?
thing.
Disney? I mean, Marvel is kind of already near that umbrella. Like, imagine Disney getting those characters.
Oh, you're saying
Yeah,
like the Mickey Mouse part of Disney type shit.
yeah. Get the real kids in there.
Yo, Mickey
The
Mouse in
Lion King.
Fortnite.
Yo,
Yo, that
Mickey
would be
Mouse and Fortnite would
crazy.
be nuts. Joe, I think this is you're good on the desk, bro. On our desk, not at the Epic desk, man. I think they laugh you. All right. Well, we were shitting on them for the past 15 minutes. Let's talk some somewhat decent stuff about Call of Duty. Have you guys heard about the Call of Duty rumors submerging about the upcoming 2021 Call of Duty?
Yes,
All right.
that's.
All
Mhm.
right. Let's look. Let's
And
look.
I don't know how I feel about them.
Call of
Oof.
Duty 2021 will be called Call of Duty World War II Vanguard. Um, this is like a pretty widespread rumor. No one has confirmed it, obviously, since we're only in March and these come out in October, September, November time. And we usually get an announcement, in around May, June ish, of usually when they come
It's
out.
usually well back before I guess Modern Warfare kind of rebooted the franchise. You'd get it about finals week in college
Okay, so
because
yeah,
that's how I always knew.
we're looking around May.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting that these leaks are coming. Um, I wonder if they are legit leaks or are they like, let's test the waters a little bit, let's see what people are feeling type shit. Um, but before we get into our more grandiose topic, Andy, I know you said you might not be feeling World War II. I want to hear more of an in-depth thought on what you got for Vanguard possibly being it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm in the very small population of people who really enjoyed Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and the futuristic space stuff. Um, I don't have a problem with
Titanfall.
modern shooters, but going back to, I guess, Cold War is my line for where I want to play in a shooting game.
Right.
Like, they came out with Call of Duty World War II not that long ago,
Here, I'll get you the date.
right?
Keep talking. Yeah.
I bought that game on a Black Friday, and I think I played it 3 times.
2017, 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm a pretty big Call of Duty fan, and like I buy them all. And the fact that I didn't even buy World War II at launch, that's probably the first one that I didn't buy at launch since Modern Warfare 2. And I only played it 3 times. Like that setting doesn't really, it's not that much fun to me. I mean, maybe this will be different. They can make the gunplay super fun, and refine it. But and it's also what Sledgehammer is the developer for this guy, I believe, who also developed World War II.
I would have to assume. I don't know who was the Infinity Ward was the
Purdue.
developer of this one. I think Raven's just taken Warzone, I'm pretty sure. So
Mhm.
yeah, so it would be Sledgehammer, then that would be the one for this. And I think they did the first Call of Duty. I literally just had it up. Let me see.
They worked on Modern Warfare 3, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
so it was Sledgehammer Games that did the first World War II.
Yeah, so I mean, I just hope if it's true, I hope they do something interesting with it. It doesn't really make me feel any better that they're probably going to be reusing assets from Call of Duty World War II for Call of Duty World War II Vanguard.
It came out in the same generation of games. Like, we're
Yeah.
still in the same generation. Like, yeah, the new gen's coming out, but we're still like, what, dog? Like, Joe, what are your thoughts, my man?
Here's the thing.
Oh, the hate
I like boots on the ground Modern Warfare,
with you.
but listen to those words. Modern Warfare. I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about setting. I think jetpacks, super futuristic is out there. Um, but what I don't want to see is another reskin, another World War II. We've been there, done that. I don't know. I would rather play with new toys that are modern, futuristic, creative. When you go back that far, I mean, there's only so much you can do. The technology was only so great. Can't get too creative with it. I think the visuals, will be nothing new. But I would prefer this than to like Titanfall, but we'll call it Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know how to feel. We'll see how it comes out. I'll still buy it and play it, but I'd rather a modern shooter.
That's the shitty part, right? Is you just said it, Joe. We're gonna buy it. We're still gonna play it, no matter what the hell they do. We're still gonna buy it.
Yeah.
We're still gonna play it. So as much as I'm a hypocrite, at least I'm gonna own up to my hypocrisy. I'd say everyone stop buying FIFA, stop buying Madden, stop buying 2K if you don't like it. I'm still gonna buy Call of Duty no matter what the fuck happens. Yeah, I kind of share the same thoughts as Joe. I understood why they went to the futuristic shit. Like, that was the it thing. And as much as I would like Call of Duty to be the trendsetter, not the, like, hopping on trends, I understood it. Like, you saw what Titanfall was going to do, and everyone and their mom thought Titanfall was going to be the future. And it probably should have been if it got the proper support. It was that good of a game. But for some reason it didn't click, and Advanced Warfare didn't click, and so I think it's interesting that their thought is we have nowhere else to go but to go back to World War II. But it leads into a bigger topic for me: is how do you guys think it transitions and is related to Warzone? Does this spell the end of Warzone and it's a new thing? Me personally, I don't think it's gonna go. We're gonna talk about this a lot more here in a second, but I don't think Warzone's done. But I can't understand how this relates to Warzone. Is any like how the Cold War guns and their Cold War skins and the Cold War everything is integrated into Warzone is almost a stretch in itself too. Going back to World War II, like in your head, I know it's not real, but how the fuck is a World War II gun going to be competitive in modern warfare setting? Like, let's just think about it. There's no optics in them, right? Like, World War II's not going to have any optics. They might have sniper scopes, but there's not going to be red dots. There's not going to be anything like that. There's not going to be any of that bullshit. So, how do you guys think that this affects Warzone's short-term future?
I think if they want to make, World War II stuff into Warzone, they're going to have to completely change it. And I think it's going to be very disruptive unless you have two different game modes like, here's original Warzone and here's Normandy Beach. This is where you get to play the World War II version where you jump on a beach, a flat sand surface and start shooting at each other with.
Split your fan
No,
base up.
I don't think. I think Warzone would have to endure a drastic change. I don't think it'd be welcome. And I think it'd be tough because, the guns that they have right now are obviously modern. And like Kyle said, they have modern specs with it, equipment. And to take that out just to reintroduce some old stuff, to me, that's not exciting. That's a downgrade. So
What's your thoughts, Andy?
Yeah, I'm kind of right in line with that. I don't. If they do go with World War II, I don't see how they can integrate it with Warzone. Just let Black Ops and Modern Warfare, your the two biggest segments, I guess, of the Call of Duty brand. Let those guys hold on to Warzone and leave it as a service, right? And then if they want to keep going, do World War II as its own thing. But don't even try to bring Warzone into it because you're going to get things way too complicated. Like you said, Kyle, that they're already stretched thin with integrating Black Ops Cold War with Warzone.
Which I think they've
Like,
done an excellent job with, by the way. Like, I think it's actually worked much better than I thought it was going to. How leveling guns, the guns coming in. Just want to get my thoughts on that, but keep going.
okay, yeah. See, I don't even play it that much, so
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar myself. But I just think 3 games into one game and another,
Yeah.
like, it's just, they're making it really complicated. Like, just, you got to stop somewhere. The game's still going to make money either way. So,
You're going to have to balance 180 guns. You know what I mean? Like, think about
that's
that.
not really possible, right?
Like, it's now granted, right now in Warzone, there's not balance. There's 4 meta guns. There's the P90 LMG, there's the FFAR, there's the car. Like, there's like 4 or 5 that people really use with their loadouts. So I guess that really isn't that big a deal because still people play it. Like, that's, I just worry about, okay, the tone of Warzone's this. Tone of our new multiplayer that we're showing in the CDL is this. There's no conjoining there. It's just we seem like we're playing 3 different games, to Andy's point. Like, our Modern Warfare gun's going to still be in there. Like, and we're now splitting our fan base into 3 with multiplayer. Because there's still a big fan base that plays Modern Warfare multiplayer. Like, huge.
Mhm.
And people are going to stay on Cold War if you have those guns in Warzone. What's, like, it's now it's going to be in the thirds. Like, what the fuck are they going to do, man? Like, it's whack. Now, this kind of leads us into the broader topic of Call of Duty. And me and Joe have this talk once a week because it drives me freaking insane what Call of Duty does. And I think it's so simple what they could do. They have 3 developers that work on this game, correct? They have Raven, they have Sledgehammer, they have Infinity Ward.
And Treyarch.
And Treyarch. 4. I'm sorry, 4. They have 4 different game modes that people like to play in Call of Duty. They have campaign, they have zombies, they have multiplayer, they have Warzone. I don't know about y'all, but that math works out pretty good. Just to give an individual developer, you do the campaign, and when you're ready, you're ready. One developer takes Warzone. When you're ready, you're ready. I don't understand why. Now, again, back to our hypocrisy thing, they get $60 out of me a year. I understand it. But now that they're moving more into the free-to-play space, why not bring out a multiplayer once every 3 years? Why not keep updating Warzone as much as possible? And if I buy a skin, I'm more likely to buy it because it's a 3-year period, not 1 year. And why not have a campaign solely based on whatever this studio wants to do? If I want to tell a story in World War II, that's what I tell it. If I want to tell a story in Cold War, that's when I do it. If I want to do a Vietnam War, that's what I do it. I don't understand why they keep trying to do this old style of way by also trying to keep up to date with Warzone. They hit the jackpot. Base everything around Warzone. Stop doing this bullshit of I need to bring out a new Call of Duty every year. Now, I sound stupid because they're going to sell 30 million copies of this and they're going to make $1 billion. So tell me why I'm stupid, please.
This is why you're stupid, Katie. There's multiple reasons, but we'll
In
just
this
talk
case.
about the Call of
In
Duty
this
take.
case,
Yeah,
yes.
we'll talk about the Call of Duty take. Here's the thing. No, I agree that they should not be releasing a new Call of Duty. Maybe I'm talking about why they're stupid here. Here's the thing. You have the CDL, Call of Duty League. I think with esports, you have the potential to actually get viewership in the next 10, 15, 20 years comparable to actual live sports. You're not going to do that if your environment of competition is changing every year. Imagine you have the champions, the people's favorites. Like these guys are mega popular. They win the championship, they go undefeated, they get a mass hype. And in the next game, the submachine guns aren't as good. So since their players are all submachine gun level players, they're no longer good the next season. They just get destroyed by a
Can I
different
talk
team.
on that point for 2 seconds just to enunciate your point?
Go for it.
Going from Modern Warfare to Cold War, it went from 5 players to 4 players. So the team that won couldn't even celebrate their championship because Cold War got announced it'll be 4v4 the day after. So they knew the 5 of them was not going to be together going into the next CDL season. They were like, oh shit, like one of us has to be dropped. And to go onto your point too, it changing. I watched Counter-Strike today. They had 225,000 people watching group play between Dignitas, or not Dignitas. It was Liquid and another team. I forget the second team. But a great game. That game has not changed in 12 years, bro. And they're getting mass viewership. Call of Duty League's getting 60K on Friday nights. They're getting 220 on a Saturday morning. But keep going, Joe. I just want to, because those were hitting your points perfectly.
No, and I appreciate you bringing that up, Katie. And just to keep going, I mean, esports aside, that's obviously a massive issue for growing esports, the changing environment. Let's throw it over to monetization here. Let's talk about sponsorships. Who's going to want to sponsor a game in September if the new one's going to come out in October? So, really, if you're a sponsor and you want to get into this game and have your shit be seen by its players, you have a year. You're limited. You're going to be recycled. Do they want to re-up a sponsorship every year? Like, I don't know. The more you think about it, the more you realize you could come out with a campaign every year in the same game. You could come out with
DLC.
every 3 years there's a gun refresh cycle update. Let's keep the same damn game. Let's go to free to play like everything else. And let's actually make the in-game content so exciting that we purchase these extra microtransactions, end up spending way more than $60 a year. And just make it so much easier for everybody involved.
Now tell us why we're stupid, Andy.
Well, real quick, there's a game that's doing this that just Rainbow Six Siege. Like, they do the thing. They have the game and they refresh it. They do big updates, and they still have a giant player base. Overwatch had it for a while. I mean, I'm sure people still playing Overwatch, but it's not what it used to be.
No, it's not.
Right? But it was the same kind of concept, right? Let's bring out new heroes, and we're going to keep the gameplay fresh. And I don't really know what else I can add, because you guys said it so eloquently. Like,
I had that rant built up for like months because Kyle and I, like you said, we talk about this. So every time we get on Call of Duty, we're like, fuck, what level are we? This is really going to reset here in 6 months. Like,
there should be no reason why I shouldn't have a Call of Duty launcher on my desktop. And the 4 things that come up, zombies, campaign, multiplayer, Warzone. Whatever multiplayer I go into, I can do the Master Chief shit. I can select what maps I want to from the most concurrent, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, World War II, whatever I want to do. But it's all in the same multiplayer verse. In the campaign, I got all my different things that I can do. And if I want a DLC, if I want to play World War II when it comes out, I have to pay $20 for the DLC. Awesome. If I want to play zombies, I can get the base shit, but if I want new maps, if I want all that, I keep playing that. It makes they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. They want to make that upfront 12 million copies sold, 60 million, you make your 120 million. They're not understanding. I would spend $120 on your game a year if I knew that my progress was going to carry over for the next 10 years. Bro, if I could be level 10,000 in 10 years, bro, I would not stop playing Call of Duty. I would play nothing but Call of Duty. My competitive stuff would carry over. Makes no sense, dog. No sense.
Here's a
Dude,
good
Call of
question
Duty.
for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Andy. You got a point. I got a question.
I was just gonna say, like, Call of Duty Mobile. I want to play that game on a console. Like, I don't want to play it on my phone. I want to play it on a screen. Like, even if it's just like a legacy, here's your free to play. Like, don't change anything. Keep all like that game is old guns, old maps. It's built on nostalgia. That's the Call of Duty game that I want to play on a console and like a AAA experience, not my phone.
I agree.
Let me ask you guys a question. Have you guys actually played Star Wars Battlefront 2?
The new one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
New one, old one. Star Wars is over such a long period of time. There's different eras, right? So when you join a game in Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you join in the Republic era, you know, you have different classes, different characters, different XYZ. Why not have something for the same thing for Call of Duty where you join a lobby, you know how you can vote for the map? One might be a World War II map, and one might be a, Modern Warfare map. And once you get in, you have a set list of classes for that era, that game. That's something like keep all the players together so there's plenty of people to group up with. And you should be able to filter, I only want to play Cold War maps, Cold War guns, yada yada. But that I don't know. You could still come up with stuff yearly if you'd like. Come out with a huge map pack every year and then, sprinkle in new maps throughout the year to keep it fresh. It's going to be the same thing, but the same game, same progress, same cosmetics. You feel like when you're buying something, it's not going to be taken from you in less than a year.
Here, I'll even make it easier for them, right? Let's say they don't want to go to the free-to-play method fully. Okay, easy. However long it takes for that single developer that works on that single part of Call of Duty, they release it. If it takes 2 years to bring out new multiplayer, it takes 2 years. Whatever. Who cares? Make each individual one of those three, the zombies, the campaign, and the multiplayer that are still you have to buy to play, make them $20 each whenever they come out. Simple. Still cutting thirds. It's still your $60, right? But how many more people would buy multiplayer if they didn't have to pay $60 for it? And how many people are still going to buy campaign because they want to play the campaign and they can get the $20 there? Zombies. Let's say Joe says, hey man, I want to play zombies. Can we just play it? I didn't cop it. Oh, but it's only a $20 investment I have to make. And just roll that content out as it comes and make your Warzone the free-to-play monster it is, whatever. It makes no sense, dog. It's such an adequate system they're doing. Even Overwatch realizes they can't do it. Overwatch is rethinking how we do sequels. Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 are going to be playable together. You don't have to buy Overwatch 2 to keep playing Overwatch. Overwatch 2, all it's going to be is the upgraded graphics, quote unquote, and the campaign stuff they're doing. All new maps, all new gun characters that are coming out for Overwatch as well. That's what Call of Duty should be doing, dog. I don't need a yearly Call of Duty. I want Call of Duty to be as good as it possibly can be because it's the most popular game out there. Stop fucking making me buy shit for $60 a year when I don't want. I want to keep playing Cold War. Let me keep playing it.
And they're both owned by Activision.
Well, yeah. And that's where we kind of, that sums it up, Andy. They're both owned by Activision. Both owned by Activision. Awesome. Any more thoughts on Call of Duty? And the only reason why we get so passionate about it because we all love it. Like I know Andy's huge. Joe's a bigger fan of Call of Duty than I am, and I've become a really big Call of Duty fan the past 2 installments. Like I didn't play the Call of Duty. I bought Modern Warfare, the most recent one. I hadn't played a Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2, and now I'm back hooked. Like that's the game I play.
Bro, you're bluffing. Black Ops 4.
No? Oh, Black Ops 4. You are 100%
We ran
right.
that shit.
I ran the fuck out of Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 was lit. All right. Any more thoughts on Call of Duty before we put that shit to rest?
I just want to say I am elite ranked in Call of Duty. Thanks. Bye.
You're welcome, man. By the way,
Cool.
Appreciate the carry, Big Man.
I got you. I got you. Um. Oh, by the way, fix your league play too. I'll throw that out there too. Fix your league play.
Yeah,
Um,
seriously.
because I want to grind the shit out of that, but can't because it's ass. All right. Another fun topic we got for the day. Did you guys hear the big news? Microsoft trying to buy more shit.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Microsoft
It's,
got deep pockets,
Yeah.
huh? Like they ain't bluffing about that $1 trillion valuation, huh? They just got money. All right, for y'all that don't know what I'm being stupid about, Microsoft wants to buy Discord. And if you're a console player and you don't know what Discord is, Discord is basically the communication that all PC players use, and it's not just gaming at this point. Like my company, Philly Esports, uses it to communicate. Granted, we are gamers at the end of the day, so it's probably, but a lot of people use Discord to communicate with their communities. I know a bunch of podcasts have Discords now when you're doing Patreons. It's like integrated within Patreon. It's just a really big community building site that a lot of integration into it. It's basically what Skype should be, if I'm going to be honest. Like, where you have multiple rooms, you have basically blogs that you can do, you have chat rooms. It's insane. But you PC gamers, obviously, this is the only thing we use. I know some people use TeamSpeak. Um, but where the news comes in with Discord is that Microsoft is thinking about buying this private company for a grand total of $10 billion. That's the reports. Nothing has been solidified yet. This is all just rumors. So honestly, since the rumors leaked, it's probably not going to happen. But I still think it will. It might not be for $10 billion. They might hike up that price because now other people know the price. They can swoop in. To give you guys an idea, Microsoft also bought LinkedIn for $26.2 billion. GitHub for $7.5 billion, and we know that they just bought Bethesda Studios for what was that, $8 billion, somewhere around there.
it was 8.
Yeah,
So when you said
8.
GitHub cost 7.5 billion, that kind of surprised me.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I Microsoft be throwing money at shit that it's just like whatever. But at the end of the day, I think we'll get into that. I think 10 billion's low for Discord, but regardless, we'll get into it. Very generic question. What do you guys think this means for mostly Microsoft? Why would they be trying to get this if they already have something like Skype? Like, what is their long play in this?
Well, I think that the article from The Verge that we all read
Mm-hmm.
lays it out perfectly that they want a place to build a community. Like you've got all these competitors that you got, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all these different places. Microsoft doesn't really have a landing platform for people to land on and stay on and communicate with other people with. And
Mm-hmm.
Discord is all about that. That's all, literally all you do on Discord is connect with other people. So if they, get Discord, it will give them that platform. Now it's not a social media platform per se, but it could become a lot. Imagine they build in Discord in with Microsoft Teams, or they can integrate features with Skype, and there's just so many things they could do with the name Discord, and just like the way that Discord works is so unique as well. There's not really anything like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one cool thing about Discord is so many people use it that if you don't, you want it. If you play with somebody who's on an Xbox or a PlayStation and you're cross-plat, if you're playing with other guys on PC, they wish you had Discord, you wish you could join them. You got to do like finagly stuff here. I think for Microsoft, like Andy said, the community aspect is number one. Um, and here's the thing. Microsoft could create a Discord, I think, overnight. It's not the most complicated of programs. But what community
It's
does is give you loyalty
yep.
and domination over the market. I mean, part of what The Verge talked about in that article was Microsoft tried to get into the streaming platforms, Mixer. They created an excellent streaming platform. They got big names. They got all these features that were brand new. You had
The
levels
biggest.
to this shit. And what happened? The viewership did not come. People were loyal to Twitch. It's its own community. So when they try and get into these different markets, they have to tap into the communities that are already there. Nobody's going to switch unless there's a revolutionary change that's beneficial. Nobody is going to switch from what they already use these days because it's kind of who you are in that space. So if you're on Discord, you're known to be more of a gamer or collaborative. Every YouTube channel has a Discord you can go into and talk to other people who are fans. I mean, it's really cool what Discord has done. I think the 10 billion evaluation isn't as far as from where it should be as KD was suggesting that it should be higher. I only think that because Discord to me, how profitable is Discord? Where do they actually make their money here? It's a free service, so I don't see any advertisements on my Discord. Um, so not sure how profitable Discord is. I think that's maybe where the lower number than what we'd expect would come from. Uh, but overall, yeah, I think it's a big move from Microsoft to get this chunk of the community. And with that, they can just keep expanding because eventually we're just going to have Google, Amazon, Microsoft owning everything we ever do. And for them to get these bits and pieces is good for their future. So,
Well, I think that's where I think that the $10 billion comes in. I think Microsoft could integrate a store inside Discord. Let's say you do have your community in there, right? And I'll use myself for example. I'm in a community for this podcast called Flagrant 2. Andrew Schultz, Akash Singh, they have their own shit. What if they put in their Discord where all their community is? Here's our ticket sales for our upcoming shows. Our all our merch is on here on our thing, and we take a cut. Like all they have to do is just put a single where their general chat is. It's right there where their store is too, and it's just all on there. I think that's where it could be monetized at. I think that's where Microsoft could see an actual return in investment in actual dollars, not just more exposure, right? Because let's be honest, if you could get a crap load of people to come into your thing, you can find a way to make money, even if it's not off that exact product right there. Now, besides that, as a stupid ass gamer, let's bring Discord to consoles. Simple.
I
Simple,
don't.
simple.
Yeah, real quick. I think if this goes through, Microsoft brings it to PlayStation as well because then you have one play. I don't think Microsoft would hold this one back for Xbox family only. I
Microsoft's
think
going to
they
make
bring it to
sure that
PlayStation.
crossplay happens whether Sony likes it or not.
Yeah,
you just look
exactly.
so much better as a company if you're willing to work with others, right? And do what's best for the community. That's their play.
That perfect. Yes. That's what they're. We are consumer friendly. We want to make your consumption of our product as easy as possible. Yes, guess what? Our Xbox PC app sucks. Guess what doesn't suck? Discord. You know what's not gonna suck? Discord on consoles. Consoles, you just get in, you hop in our party, talking like regular. You can adjust all the volumes you want. If you want to get really busy with it, put on a webcam with it too. Oh, get Discord Nitro. Oh, and you like that? Now go and be on your podcast on your Discords. It makes all the sense in the world, man. Like it's something that these really important CEOs and CFOs and COs, this is why they get paid the big bucks. Because I didn't even have this thought. My little ass thought was like, why don't they just create an app? Microsoft's like, let's just buy Discord and let's just put it to where, and they're not buying it for 10 billion just to put it on Xbox and you know what I mean? Like, there's a much bigger play that they realize the community there, you can monetize it, and they know it. And I think it's a huge play. I think what's amazing about it is that it feels like it's a gamer play, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like someone's like culture vulturing a little bit, right? Like, oh hey, the gamers like that. Let me just buy that and then we'll use it for some other shit. That's where I do get concerned is maybe it's no longer Discord when Microsoft buys it. So I get a little wary. But if they just know don't break it, just adjust, I think they'll be fine.
Do the Minecraft thing. Buy it and let them continue doing what they do.
Yeah, they really don't do shit for Mojang, huh? They just like let that shit run.
Take the money.
Make yeah. Oh, hey,
They're
yeah,
killing it.
we do collect that check at the end of the month every week when you guys bring it in. We take that 35% cut. You got a good point. But no, I think this is amazing. I think it's cool. I'm excited for it. And Yeah, I hope they don't try to make it a social media network though, because I think it's the cool thing. I think you try to make a social media network, I think it becomes automatically uncool. All right.
I just hope it happens. I hope it happens.
Yeah, I do too. I really do so. I really do so. Any other thoughts, Joe, on this shit?
No, no, I think if they buy Discord, which I do think they will, gamers, anybody who likes to use this community platform is going to see some real benefits. Hopefully, some more of their friends will be able to have access to it. Um, and if and if they're going to do, what they've done is buy something and immediately have something available, just to get the attention of consumers, we might see something here soon.
The fact that they can just drop $10 billion and just be chilling.
And
Fucking
they just spent 8.
capitalism.
It's not like
is
these are
awesome.
timed out.
Capitalism is awesome. All right, last topic we got for y'all today is something that we're going to be integrating here in the future. We're going to end our episodes with just a random topic we think of gaming. Doesn't have anything to do with the news going on. We might try to integrate it into the news if something happens, but it's just going to be a general gaming topic that we kind of just discuss as gamers and we kind of geek out for a little bit. And this topic this week is brought to us by our lovely boy Andy, and he asked,
Andy.
what is one of the best games ever? Like, it's universally considered one of the best games ever that you have never played. Now, this is never cool to say, right? Like, if you're talking with your gamer buddies from school and they were like, "Yo, Super Mario 3 is awesome," and you said, "Yo, I'd never played Super Mario 3." Knowing damn well most of us our age have never played it unless you played it on the Switch, everyone's gonna look at you like, "Wow, you're weird. You ever played Grand Theft Auto 3 even though we were 7 and there were strippers in that game? Weirdo." Like, so it's definitely not a cool thing. But I think this is an awesome conversation to have, and it kind of sees a little bit of transparency on this podcast. You know, we don't have all to spend $60 on every game that comes out. So, Joe, we want to make fun of you first. What is one of the best games of all time that you've never played?
This is a great topic, Andy. I'm actually, when you said this, I went in so many different directions. It's ridiculous. I started thinking about,
Too many to think
Yeah,
about.
damn,
the wrong one, dog.
when I was, well, yeah, the first thing I thought of is what you're going to be talking about, Andy, so I won't spoil it. But uh, the next thing I thought of was like, crap, I was on PlayStation from PlayStation 1 to 4. I missed so many Xbox titles, Halo, Gears of War, all of these. I was thinking of all that. I was thinking of like some recent stuff that came out. I'm a really big Dark Souls fan, so Ghost of Tsushima, like that looked like a really good game, won Game of the Award accolades, and it came down to it. I started looking, and there's this franchise that I know if I played it, it would be incredible. It's
What?
got 2 games now.
Oh,
It's massive. It's huge. It's still played today. New features are coming out. They have weird little niche communities in this game. I mean, there's so much to this game, and
Roblox?
everybody seems like they've played it. Say
Knack 2.
Nah.
no, it's Red Dead Redemption. It's like the
Okay.
Wild West Grand Theft Auto. I love Grand Theft Auto. I like that really
You like
open world
horses.
aspect that Red Dead seems to bring. Now, I've never played it, so to me, it almost looks like a Grand Theft Auto Witcher mix,
Mm.
not in monster slaying, but in terms of open world, you're on horseback. Red Dead Redemption always seems like a game where every time I hear about it, think about it, I'm like, you know what? I know I'd fall in love with that game, and I just never, ever touched it. Never bought it, never looked at it in the store. So that's what I chose. Uh, Interestingly, by the way, when I said that, you guys didn't look like you were like, how did he never play this? So did you guys play that one at all, or?
Yeah, that's how I felt on the inside. Okay.
He was like,
Just
this
not good at
fucking
showing
idiot.
emotions.
This fucking idiot. Joe, I'm going to be honest. I played Red Dead Redemption 1 a little bit. I have not copped Red Dead Redemption 2. I tried to stick
Ooh.
with games that I hadn't played any of the series because I think it'd be corny if someone said, I never played Halo 3, but I played Halo 1, 2, and 4. Like, all right, bro, you played Halo. Like, it's gotcha. But I don't think that's wild, right? Like, I feel like Red Dead Redemption got its flowers post launch, like post launch type thing, and then Red Dead Redemption 2 was obviously super hyped. But we're in an era now where those games that come out aren't as widely consumed as they used to be. Like, there's so many other games and services that people are so dedicated to that I.
Red Dead's niche, right?
What do you mean niche?
Like its niche is in not everybody wants to be a cowboy.
Well,
That is
sure,
true.
sure, but I'm sure not everyone wants to fight dragons either. And Skyrim was able to sell stupid numbers. You know what I mean? Like but I'm with you. Yes, it is still what it puts its hat on. Not to be not pun intended. Is hey, you can spend 400 hours in this shit. I don't want to spend 400 hours in a game. Gonna be honest. It's just
Yeah, that's mostly been my reason for not copping. Like I don't want to get too invested. I'm playing so many other games, you know.
Well, let me say, as someone who went and got the first Red Dead Redemption when it came out when I was in 7th grade, launch weekend, not launch day. Um, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a special game, to me, just because I look back on the day that I got Red Dead Redemption 1 on my PlayStation 3, and then when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, it was my last semester in college. I was like 3 months away from graduating, and like just the technical difference between the games and just how beautiful that game is. Like I just played it a week ago just to play around in the world, just to ride my horse around because the game is so gorgeous, especially on the Series X. Because I had a Xbox One S
Good
versus
flex.
Series X. You know, I had to see the technical upgrade.
gotta flex the wealth always. Come on.
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. But one of the things that kind of drives me crazy about Red Dead Redemption 2 is how seriously it takes itself.
How seriously it
Like,
takes itself, you said?
yeah. Like, if you want to go get your hair cut, you got to go to the barber shop. You can't choose a hairstyle. You can only cut your hair. If you want longer hair, you
Oh
got to
my,
wait in game days for your hair to grow. And then you can get it cut
yo.
accordingly. Like, it's like life simulation shit. But I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, but it's just not for me. Like, and that's kind of a thing that a lot of the interviews hit on when the game came out. Like, it's almost too realistic, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's an interesting one. I wouldn't have thought that, but it's kind of funny that neither of you have played it.
Not Red Dead 2. I played Red Dead 1, but not Red Dead 2.
There's just so many games that I thought of, and like Super Mario Galaxy came to the picture. Like now, I'm thinking of even more. Like there's so many good
Don't give them
games.
away,
There's
Joe. Don't
just
give them away.
so
Don't give
many
Breath
them
of the
away.
games.
Wild.
Don't give them away,
But
bro.
I
You're
thought
doing this
about it, and
for.
I was like, you know what? This game is the one that like I know if I sat down with a controller on my PS5
It's
and
on
played,
PC,
I
by the
know
way,
that I
bro.
would have a great time. And still, I've never had even like the urge to buy it. I don't know why.
Well, hopefully it'll come to Game Pass. It was on Xbox Game Pass for a while, 6 months, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was. Rockstar was giving them shits away for a minute, and then they were like, "Yank, buy our shit now." It was good. That's how they did it to you. They put out a game that took 300 hours to beat, and
It
for
did not
like,
take that long. It's probably like a 60-hour game, which is still kind of long, but it's not
That's a
300.
work week, bro. That's a whole...
Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. Don't get me wrong, but
Work
it's
week,
not
he
that
said.
long.
All right, Andy, you're up next, my man. Just tell me one of the games. Now I don't know it. Joe obviously cheated, so I like the surprise we have with Joe, but I do not know what Andy's about to say. Go ahead, my man's.
When I was thinking about this segment, I guess for the podcast, I immediately thought of this game because I guess this is kind of I'm gonna dial it in real quick to what franchise I'm talking about. Is that The Legend of Zelda just turned 35 this year? I think it's
Whoa.
35. Yeah. So I was actually listening to a podcast where they ranked every single Zelda game
That
in
took
like a bracket
way too
style.
long to do. I love that podcast and I love that episode. That took 4 hours.
What, the besties?
Yeah.
So it got me thinking. I'm like, I've played a lot of the Zelda games, even if it wasn't like in depth and stuff. But the one that came out on top is The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, which is a
Oh,
game that I have never played.
that is such a good
I
fucking
haven't even
game.
heard of that one.
What?
I've heard of Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild. There's
No,
probably an
no.
OG,
Let me kick some
just
game
Legend of
here. Let me
Zelda,
kick
The
some
right?
game here.
OG. This is the OG. This
This is the
this
GOAT.
was the base. This was the base for 2D dungeon crawling.
Oh
Like
shit.
this laid the foundation for gaming as a whole when this game came out.
Joe, here's how
Drop
brilliant
knowledge on me.
this game was, right? 91 it drops, right? The developers wanted to create this vast, great, big world to be one of the predecessors and start furthering the Zelda brand. They didn't. They ran out of storage on the cartridges that go into the Super Nintendo ES. Inside the game, there's a light world that you complete, and then the world turns dark. Inside now, obviously, it's not that impressive now, but they created the whole world again in dark and changed where things were a little bit, changed where it was. So to make that game as big of an adventure as they could, they doubled it by just changing the world from light to dark. Now I know that doesn't sound as impressive now as it is, but bro, back then in '91, dog, Joe's a
No,
hater,
that's
yo.
crazy. That's crazy. No, that literally doubles the amount of time your game takes, even though
But
you know
it's a
you have the
completely
same
different
resources.
experience though inside the dark world. Like you have different
Yeah.
weapons, you have different like no, I'm telling you, man, that is one of the very rare games from like the 90s, late 80s, early 90s that holds up today. If you were to go sit down and play that right now, and I did while we were in quarantine, that was one of the first games I sat with my Switch and played. Oh, fucking amazing, bro.
So, okay, let me ask you this. So that was on Super Nintendo. Have you played Super Mario and have you played Donkey Kong? Because those are the two Super Nintendo games I played.
Donkey Kong Country, you're saying, and then like Super Mario
Yep.
3? Yes.
And Super Mario All Stars on the Super Nintendo.
I would say
Ooh.
Link to the Past is better than both of them.
Interesting. I might have to bust it out,
It's
bust it
on
out.
the Switch. It's on the Switch like Super Nintendo app. You can play it.
Yeah, send me your Switch. I got you. I'll play it.
Bro, you're rich, bro. Buy the $300 Switch, dog.
Why don't you emulate a Switch on your
Whoa,
PS5?
whoa, whoa. Don't make me expose. You just bought a second pair of Apple AirPod Pros. All right, dog. Don't get me.
What happens when your AirPods die? What are you gonna do? You just gonna sit and wait? Come on now.
So, Andy, have you obviously you've played other Zeldas? Have you played the original OG?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't beat it or anything. I
Right.
just kind of
No one
ran around.
has.
That game's hard.
No one has. Yeah, it's very hard. No one has. Everyone that's under the age of 25 that says they beat it, they're lying.
The only time I've
Yeah.
ever played a Zelda is Super Smash Bros. Playing as Link. That's the only time I've ever
I think that's the first time I ever played
seen.
as Link.
And,
was in
and
Smash.
I was confused that his name was Link and not Zelda. So
Who do I pod with,
Isn't
yo?
everybody? Hey, yo, Kyle, relax. Everybody has that moment, right, when they learn that Link is the protagonist.
Not
and
at
Zelda is the
24.
princess. He didn't say it was 24.
whoa, that was high school. That
I'm
was high school.
lying.
Come
Let me
on
get my
now.
lies
No,
off.
I
Let me get my lies off, yo.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Zelda guy to begin with. So, I mean, I played them. They're always a little bit too difficult for me. I'm a little bit stupid.
But you did like
I'm a
Breath of the
little bit
Wild a
stupid.
lot.
I love Breath of the Wild, and I really, dug my teeth in on that. That's the only real one that I've dug my teeth into. I've tried to play them all, like when Ocarina came out on the 3DS. I played it to the point where about you become like adult Link, you can change times, but then it was too big brain for me, bro. I had to look up the walkthrough just to know where to go because back then they didn't tell you exactly where you needed to go to continue the story. You had to just explore, and I'm not patient.
No. Those early games are crazy, bro. Kyle, were you part of
Where
the
they
crowd in high school
Bought the manual.
that got the emulators on your phone for Pokemon, bro?
Nah.
I played Pokemon for the first time ever, senior year of high school. And those were impossible without the internet, bro. I don't know how people did that back in the day. Those old games,
No.
impossible.
Bro, when you had to sell a manual separate that was this fucking thick, dog, yeah, nah, I'm good. Fucking Andy, the Final Fantasy shit you sent me that Schreider tweeted out, that it was like trolling
Mhm.
them.
Yeah,
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Dog, I do miss
I
that.
can't believe they really tried that.
I do miss that. Anytime my pops would buy a game that at launch, he would always buy the manual with it, and the manual was the coolest part to me to go through. Like fucking like Fable 1's manual, man. I would go through that shit like all the fucking time.
Yo, it's hilarious you brought that up because when I got my Switch on launch day and I got Zelda Breath of the Wild on launch day, guess what else I got? Was a hardcover game guide. for Breath of the Wild, just just in case I got stuck. I bought the fucking hardcover book.
That's hilarious. In 2016, that's nasty. That's nasty
Yeah.
buying a manual in 2016. At least it was hardcover, so it looks like a collector's item at least.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
All right, you guys ready for mine?
Oh yeah, lay it on.
All
I'm actually
right.
kind of interested because you've only played you played one game until you were like 23. So
Interesting.
there's so many
I played
possibilities
Link.
here.
Damn, my time in WoW really put a stain on Joe's perception of me. I play mad games, Joe. Don't hate. But Joe is correct. During my time from 2008 to 2014, 13, played a grand total of like 4 different games. Gears of War, Halo, WoW, and Call of Duty. Whoa. Craziness. I know. Didn't play Skyrim up until now. Didn't play any of that. Also, if I did play anything, though, and it wasn't on PC, it was on Xbox. I don't own a PlayStation. Haven't owned a PlayStation since PlayStation 2. What are you going to do? Now, I give it up to PlayStation. PlayStation 4 had some of the best first-gen consoles. Like, they were the best. They were amazing. God of War was awesome. I know that. Spider-Man, awesome. I get it. Xbox sucked. Xbox 360 though had those titles, the exclusives, right? Like we weren't lacking. But PlayStation 3 had one that was like the one. And I know it's Joe's like favorite game of all time. I've never touched, I've never heard the noises, I've never seen much of it besides maybe 1 or 2 playthroughs. The Last of Us, that is one of the games that I will be going back to play eventually just because I know that it's bumped up where games are. There's only so many that have, right? Like, you got Mario 64, you got Grand Theft Auto 3, then you go like Halo, and then from 2004, you're like World of Warcraft, then you got Call of Duty. There's only so many. And I would put Last of Us in that topic when you're talking about storytelling, when you're talking about like cinematic feel of a game. I think Uncharted might have done that too when you're talking about the adventure of games. I have played Uncharted, so understand it. But I would definitely put Last of Us more in that tier than Uncharted. Last of Us, man, that like for whatever hate Part 2 gets, I don't know shit about it. I just know Part 1, I found like one person to have a bad word about it. Like, that's it.
Ooh, send me their name. Give me their username right now.
Their email. Give me their email address. I'm pulling up. Nah, man, but that was one of the ones. And what's crazy is I was not nearly into gaming news as I am now, where I'm up to date. I didn't even know Last of Us was until like a couple years after it came out. And then I started reading like, oh, what's like people are saying like this was the greatest game of the generation. And when you're young, you're like, no, it's Gears of War 3. Like, no, fucking stupid. Like, listen to these people. And man, everything I read about it, everything that it seems like it pushed the generation of the PlayStation 3 too. What's amazing to me is it came out like what last week. The PlayStation 3 was current.
Yeah, it was at the very end. It
Yeah,
was like the Ghost of Tsushima.
Like usually when that happens, man, games are sent out to die. That's how good that game was. Is that it still had a crazy impact on gaming when the news was the new consoles were coming out. Like, no, fuck the new consoles, go buy Last of Us 3. Fuck your PlayStation 4 type shit. And, Joe, how long would you say it would take to beat?
It took me a few days.
I'd say about 25 hours total, maybe.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. See, that's
like a perfectly paced game.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you guys this.
Can you give me one critique you would have on it first before you go into your... Because I just want to hear it because I know you're going to go on 20 minutes of how great it is.
One critique about the game.
Scary.
That's not a critique in my book. It was fantastic. One critique about the game. I think so I played it on a higher difficulty, and so I don't know what the easier modes are like. But even on the difficulty I was on, I could kind of see if you were trying to play this game very casually, it might be pretty difficult. There's a lot of strategy and resource management in this game. So if you just wanted to jump into the game, you load in, you don't remember where you are, your abilities, you took off for 2 months, it'd be very tough to jump right back in and be effective. You'd have to
That's a solid
relearn.
critique, but I think that's hard
So
to manage that immersion and then that as well. Like, there's not many things that can actually balance that. But go ahead now, tell me how great it is.
here's the thing about The Last of Us, okay? Here's the thing. I actually don't remember being hyped for this game. I don't remember what made me buy it. Don't remember how I even got this game in my hands. But let me tell you this. I have not watched a single movie, played a single game, read a single book that's made me emotional. This game is so good in its storytelling and making you care about these characters and what happens to them. It's to the point where, like, if you're close to death in this game, you're almost freaking out because you don't want this to happen. Like, I don't know how to explain it. If I'm playing God of War and I'm fighting a boss and I'm like, dang, I'm low health, might as well just die here so I can reset. It's no biggie, right? No, this game puts you on a different level of caring. Um, a- and don't want to spoil anything of the story or what's going on, but this puts you on a different level of immersion, taps into your emotions, and has just the right difficulty to where like your mind's constantly racing on what to do, how to react. I'm gonna stop there because I can go on forever. Andy, I know you've played it, you love it too. Um,
Yes. Yeah. So when I got my PlayStation 4, I ran to GameStop that night and bought Last of Us 4 or Last of Us Remastered because that's the game I wanted to play. I never played it on my PS3. Um, and I was so impressed. Dude, the prologue alone, the first 15 minutes, that sets the
Oh,
tone,
thank
right?
God. It's only a
oh my
15-minute
God.
prologue. Thank
Yeah, but
God. You know how cornball Assassin's Creed's been where the prologue's 5 hours? Like, go fuck
yeah, like
yourself, yo. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I love that. 15-minute
no,
prologue.
but
That's all it needs to be.
it throws you into the story though, and it does it so effectively, and just the storytelling in that game is so good. But my experience with both The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2, I didn't do a marathon session for either one of them. I played them in chunks. So Joe was right when he said that when you hop back into it, you can kind of be confused. You might not know what to do. You might have to go look up an IGN walkthrough on how to get through the section that you're in. But
Yeah.
No free plugs.
it's worth it.
Bleh.
Yeah. But it's definitely worth it because what you get at the end is an experience. And it's an experience that you can only get through a video game. Now they're gonna try to do the HBO show. I'm sure it'll be good and have its own thing, but it's not gonna be the same as trying to sneak around a clicker or fucking like trying to
Interesting.
divert things and all this stuff. Like the
Wow.
gameplay itself is not what you think it is. It's not action packed like Uncharted.
Right.
It's not shooty shooty. It's so much. It's not.
Meticulous.
It's
It-
not Metal Gear either though. Like where it's all stealth.
yeah,
Like it's
that's what I
so
was just
unique.
gonna say. There's so many situations where it's better just to get it over with and pop some heads, and there's so many situations where if you shoot a bullet, there's so many of
Yeah.
them, it's
And
over.
you don't have very many bullets.
No, and that's the other thing. Like, you can't race through this game. There's no way. At least on the difficulty I played on, it almost forced you to stop, care about what you were doing. You couldn't loot three cabinets because you walked into a house. You had to loot everything because if you got to the next spot, you didn't know what was coming up. And honestly, you'd walk onto like a side path to loot, and some big event would be happening, some symbolic like the way that they did that game, man. It, I I still think so fondly about it, and I've always thought about going back, especially because they put the remastered version on the PS5 for free, with the
Hmm.
PlayStation Plus. I still think about going back because that good of a game.
Did you play 2 yet, Joe?
I have not played two. I actually sold my PlayStation 4, got an Xbox to play with friends before that came out, so I wasn't able to play it.
Well, definitely if it goes on sale, pick it up because the combat situations in 2 just ramp it up. Like I'm not
Right.
whatever to the story, but the fighting and the stealth sections are so much better. Like I can't even remember what the first game was like because the second game just takes it up so much more. And like it's like where you were saying everything that you do, you care about it. Like you could just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna die. Like just let me die. I can't mentally put myself in a place where I would do that in The Last of Us Part 2.
No.
It's so weird, right?
No, Kyle, you'd literally pull up and you'd be like, shit, I gotta get through this. I have 3 pistol bullets, 2 rocks, and a band-aid. What am I finna do? It's like, oh, it's so good.
That's interesting what you guys said there. Annie said, like, and Joe, to your point too, but I think Annie was more hitting it. I don't know how a movie would be able to tell that story. So from what I'm understanding is that, gaming, if you had to put a definition to it, it's like an interactive storytelling, right? It's an interactive form of
Mhm.
media. There's not many interactive forms of media. Um, that this game reached the limits concurrently of what storytelling is in interactive media that these non-interactive things of movies, books, TV shows can't hit. And I think that right there, screw, I guess, how tight the controllers are, screw, to Joe's point, the difficulty. If you can master that, you have to be in a class just like Mario 64 did with 3D graphics. Like, not only did we do it first, we did it so everyone else is using this blueprint today. Like, I was talking with one of my buddies that work at Affiliate Esports, like, you know how good Mario 64 was? Is that every platformer still feels like Mario 64. No one has done anything different besides Mario Galaxy a little bit, but that's really it. Everything else still feels like Mario 64. I could imagine if you're trying to tell an in-depth story, you're using Last of Us as that blueprint right now. Not everything's trying to tell
Oh yeah.
such a lose myself in my story. Like, we're trying to tell a story, but we only have so many like assets to use. And I think that's amazing. I mean, that for me, again, I'm going to announce my hypocrisy. As awesome as that sounds, I know that I don't delve into those games as much as I should to understand the genre as it needs to, and I know that I probably need to get that feeling. It's like someone that's into movies and directing. I have to watch Shawshank Redemption one time. Like, it's like one of those type things. And it's awesome to hear you guys talk. Like, I just didn't even think of a point to say while you guys were talking. I'm like, wow, that is so awesome that both you had two separate experiences. Not an online game, but the messaging and the way it made you feel was the exact same. That is insane to me.
Yeah, I think the only game that's come close in terms of storytelling that I played, it was actually recent, was God of War. Because when I got the PS5, it was one of the games that you could play for free. And as much as I love that game, I still haven't finished it because, single player games don't have that allure always when you can hop on with your friends. And I played The Last of Us in the same time I was playing online games with my friends, and I could not put it down. Like, it's the God of War, I'm literally probably 90% done, almost at the end. For some reason, I can't pick up the controller and play it.
Gets
This game,
repetitive.
you cannot. I mean, the story incredible. The turns, what happened.
Giraffe. And the giraffe.
Yeah.
The giraffe.
Kyle,
Some inside jokes on
when
that.
when are you seeing me? Kyle, you're coming down in April. I'm gonna have it downloaded on the PS5 for when I'm at work and you're just chilling at my crib.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to do a pod from your crib. What's up?
Yes, sir.
Or we're gonna have to do one back to back to make sure one comes out. Oh, that's gonna be ugly. We got back to back pods coming, boys. Better get some random topics like this ready, because sounds like there's gonna be one filled with them. That's awesome. No, I really like this topic. We should do, I don't know if exactly this topic, but we should definitely do a lot more of these once a week. Damn, we just got into a little bit of a geek session there. That was fun.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to make that a Last of Us review. Um,
No, but it
but
should be,
You know
man.
that game that came out in 2014?
Nah, man, but for real, like, as much as I want to play Last of Us eventually now, like, I think that's what that should do. It should, when someone hears it, they should be like, wow, Links to the Past, I know it's awesome, but two dudes just championed it, how great it is, and that if you had to rank your Zeldas, and the Zeldas that I have played, I've not played every single one of them, but I played the marquee ones, man, I might put that at, like, number 2 behind Breath of the Wild. Like, Breath of the Wild is that good, but if I had to rank a second Zelda, it's up there. Like, it's and I can understand someone saying no, Link to the Past is number 2. Or Ocarina of Time. It's like those three. You can interchange whichever one of those three. But I hope someone goes
All
in and
defining.
that's what
They all define their own things. Like it's crazy.
100%. And that's the thing too. Everything we said Red Dead Redemption 2, for all the good and the bad, has defined RPGs a little bit this generation. The realism and all that. Storytelling with Last of Us and Links to the Past. Zelda started the RPG genre on consoles. Not everything, but on consoles. And Links to the Past took that shit to fucking the moon, bro. Fucking GME up there. I love that that's like a thing now, is sending it to the moon. Like, that's like such a terminology our culture uses now. All right, boys. Anything else you guys going to say? Anything we want to go over? We're at like a minute or an hour 15 at this point, so it's gonna be a little long episode. Actually, hour 20, but whatever. It's gonna be about an hour.
Damn.
Yeah,
y'all still
geeked
listening. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we need to stop talking so much, huh?
Out. Well, we'll have to make this part definitely a clip on its own. I got nothing else. How about you? Or y'all, I should say.
I'm good to go. Have a good week, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on the social medias. Thank you guys for watching if you're on YouTube. Make sure you guys listen on our podcast if you aren't listening on there. And if you are listening on our podcast, make sure you guys check out our YouTube page. We'll have some clips up there. We'll have the full video up there and everything. And we guys will check you next Tuesday. Have a good one.